what do you pick? How do you pick your board members? And who and why are board members even important to you? But how do you pick them?
End game. What's your end game? So again, mom and pop shop. Whenever I say mom and pop shop, I'm talking about you and your wife or you alone are building a thing where you have no intention of ever scaling. And you can decide the board is you and your wife. Or just you. You're the chairman and you're the CEO. But on this other side, if you want to scale, for instance, to this unicorn type of status, you pick a board that takes you there. And sometimes board is dictated by the type of capital you got. Sometimes you don't have a choice because maybe the capital you went after dictates that at a particular amount or at a particular stakeholding of the business, they deserve a board seat, maybe a board and observer, maybe 2 board seats. So sometimes it's dictated by what you raised. Sometimes it's dictated by where you're going, your end game. So it depends. When you have too many investors, it can pollute your boardroom. It can pollute your governance. But if you are adamant that you have a particular end game, and with that end game you're going to build a governance team that helps you get there, then such people, they're rare to find, but they're there. What they do, they actually help you build towards that direction. And again, I don't know, today I've really emphasized on this self-awareness.
I love it.
You then are able to take their critique and information and understanding, not personally. You're firm about your decisions. You're okay to agree to disagree on certain things, because you don't put a board together to have yes men and yes women. No, you've put a board together to drive something a particular direction. So I'd say you need to pick a team that will take you where you're going. How many people should be in a board? You can have a unicorn with 5 board members, and you can have a kiosk with 11 board members. It's how smart are you at picking the team you need to take you where you need to go.
Is this then the difference between the board of directors and the advisory board?
Yes, there's a distinct difference. A board of directors can be dictated heavily by the kind of money you raised and all. And if you raise the right type of money, then it's actually the right board to take you where you need to go. So for instance, in my case, I have 2 board members from the capital raise. And then I have 3 board slots for value-driven board members who you want to select particular caliber of people that have the right influence, have the right direction, have the right status to help you get there. So the other 3 for me are Americans. And I've left those slots for them so that as we fill those slots, these become people with enough influence to help us close Series A, Series B, and become that unicorn.
Oh, that's powerful. So what I'm hearing, you've got 3 open slots right now.
Yeah.
But you've got an understanding of who you want to take those slots up.
Yeah, we're interviewing, we're talking, we're checking out. We've asked a few people, they've said yes, but we're just finalizing. So those are people who they've done. One of the people we've talked to has raised over $1 billion for his fund and whatever. So he knows enough people. They bring a lot of value to your board. Sometimes this is a conversation that's hard because sometimes people have already formed their boards. So let me preempt a different question. What do you do if the board is already formed? Well, do you have tenures or are these forever board members? If you have tenures and you want to transition, maybe transition half of them out if they don't bring you the value you need to, or explain to them that you need to bring in the right people for the next phase of where the business needs to go. That's important. Boards can kill a business. Boards can kill a business. And sometimes some of the board members you bring are professional board members. All they love to do is be on a board. But do they bring value to where you're going? I have a friend who just had amateurs on his board, but they were people. When I say amateurs, it's people who just never used to be on too many boards, but they understood. They had networks. They were building their own businesses. They connected this guy to so many. His business now valued at $250 million in just 3 years. And those people had never served on other boards. So it's not really. It's good to have experienced people, but mix your people. So I'm in fintech. I'm going to get fintech people on my board, not a teacher. Sorry.
And fintech people with the right connections.
If I'm building an education app, maybe I might need a teacher on my board, a very well thought out teacher who knows. So who's on your board and why? You have to ask yourself that question. It's not for decoration. It's very purposeful. It's very, very crucial to have the right people there. And they must make time for the business. They must make time.
And when you're getting these board members, for example, the advisory boards, the equity conversation is not a part of this. It's not.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. For what?
But and also,
unless they are sitting on the board as part of the equity they already got, and it dictates that a particular stakeholding requires a board seat, yes. But others need to be value driven.
Okay.
And you give them compensation, or you find a way to compensate them monetarily or whichever way for their sitting allowances. But no, you don't. You could give equity if you want. Maybe you have, a very, very influential person. You could have an extremely influential person that you feel, if I put this one on my board, it opens very serious doors. I'll give them 1% of the business. But don't be naive.
Okay, the reason why I asked that would be then, what would be the motivation for the board members to then open up their networks for you? Probably what I was asking is, how do you keep the board members then motivated to give value to the business and not just attend a meeting like always happens just for the sitting allowance?
That's why you have to really vet and know the type of people you want. Richard, there are amazing human beings out there. The fact that you could be building a unicorn will attract a certain caliber of people who want to be a part of your story.
Okay.
And are moved by your values and character and systems, that they say, I don't mind being a part of this story. I'm happy to utilize my time towards something of this sort. I'd love to have my name attached to this kind of product. That's it. You will be shocked that there are people who will say, okay, you have my attention. And these are CEOs of very large companies that are telling you, I'm interested. So put your feelers out there and let what you're building have value. Because a lot of these guys are now driven by impact, by value, by what are you changing in the world? What's going to change because of what you're doing? So right now, with what you've done with CTA, even what you're putting together, you'll be surprised who'd be happy to be on your board. People you never thought would want to sit on your board. You'll be shocked. They're like, what you're doing is making a difference. Some of these people have reached actualization stage of life. They're no longer driven by money. They're driven by you're changing the world, and I want to be a part of what you're doing. That's it. So what are you building? But if you're just bottom line driven, I just want money, then you'll also attract those kind of people. And those are usually the most painful people to have on your board, because when you're not making money,
sips water. Okay, just two more questions and definitely. So what role does passion play in making while making your entrepreneurial decisions? And I'd also add and say, maybe as the next question, kingdom. You here said you're unapologetically kingdom driven. By that I mean Christian. What then also is the balance between being a nutter Christian and bringing those values of Christianity to business in a real way?